We back, them brothers from Inglewood podcast once again. Charley Mack and Hoopie. Excited to talk about an interesting subject today. And before we introduce this subject, we just want to say thank you for tuning in. Remember that this social media platform will allow us to kind of continue moving forward with bringing you information and things of that nature. And we're just going to jump right in. I'm going to let Charley Mack holler at you guys, and then we're just going to go from there.
Hey, how you guys doing out there? We back. We ready to jump right in here, man, and start talking about this topic before we forget it. So we're going to just dive right in, man, before we start losing things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well said. The topic today is deal breakers. And when we think of that reality, it varies in so many different angles. But we kind of want to talk about the relationship aspect. So I'm gonna throw the first question at you. Right. You can dissect it and then throw it back at me. What is the deal breaker for an initial meeting?
You know, man, it's funny because it could be so many different things.
Yeah.
You know, initially when you meet someone, you know, it's always that physical attraction.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's attracted to you and vice versa.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody comes on their best behavior in the beginning, especially in the beginning. You know, she sees you, you see her. Yeah. Okay, he's attractive, she's attractive. You guys strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
And you go forward from there. So let's just say the first, for me, I can't speak for other people, but for me, I can probably establish whether or not I want to be going forward with someone. Probably the first conversation within the first 5 minutes of that conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm listening to like things. I'm listening to her intellect.
Buzzwords,
I'm listening to her intellect.
Okay.
I'm listening to her interests.
Okay.
You know, if she's a 50-year-old woman and, you know, she still likes to run the streets and go to the bars and go to the clubs and go to whatever, that's a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker. Okay.
So for me, that conversation is over.
Okay, so you mentioned the initial contact is pretty much physical.
It's physical.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah. We like what we like, right? We're attracted to what we're attracted to.
Yeah.
Now, are you coveting a preconceived notion, or is just this your criteria? This is pretty much how you evaluate.
Listen, like I said, everybody is different.
Yeah.
Certain people can tolerate certain things, and certain people can't.
Yeah.
For me, I can't tolerate a lot of stuff. People that probably know me and women I've dated and all that, they probably like, yeah, that dude is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, he real particular about whatever. I mean, I can, you know, I can look and see a chick with a hang toe on her nail, and I'd be like, oh, it's quits. It's quits. But everybody is different, you know. Yeah. So, but for me, you have to understand, if I can't get along with you in the very beginning in terms of stuff that you're into, why waste my time?
So you're looking at it as compatibility, too.
Because I'm because I'm not going to waste my time with someone if I'm not really into them. Yeah. You know, I mean, as we get older, I think most of us, we get past, you know, just I just want to sleep with her type thing. Okay. Yeah. For me, I have to be attracted to your personality, and I have to be able to get along with you in order for me to even want to go there.
I got you. So, you know, primarily, I feel very similar to what you're saying, because initially meeting someone, sometimes you can go by the body language, you know, whether or not they really want to be bothered. Yeah. Because I mean, let's be honest, men, we're on pursuit. Yeah. The woman, you know, unless you know, Billy D and women just come fall in your lap. Or Denzel. Normally, women aren't that aggressive, even when they're interested.
You're right.
Because a lady feels as though I gotta always remain a lady. Okay, so now after a man pursues, or after, you know, I show interest, I'm more so listening to some of the key words that they're, adjectives that they're using to describe themselves in a short period of time. Okay. Because we know you're not going to get a full conversation all the time when you initially meet someone.
Of course.
But sometimes if time permits, yeah, you can walk away from that conversation saying, "Oh, I'm cool."
Yes.
And a lot of times, you meet women that you would think chronologically from their age that they're not into running the streets. They're not into having 5 and 6 girlfriends and doing the birthday parties and we're going out of town on the girls trip.
You'll be amazed.
So when you listen to that, initially, bro, I'm turned off.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you really want to get into that?
No, I don't.
Especially when you know that you might be a pretty laid-back dude.
Yeah.
Very low maintenance in terms of like, hey, I can do a Netflix and chill type weekend. That's the type of guy I am.
Okay.
But now you got this chick you've met. She want to run down here to this event, that event. Me and my girls are going down here. We going here.
Man.
See, for me, and you know what? That's fine for that
them.
female.
For them.
But that's not going to work for me.
I got you.
And certain guys, they may be into that.
Okay.
I'm not into it.
Got you. So, and that's just the introduction stage. Okay, let's fast forward. What is the deal breaker for establishing the dating process? How do you get to the dating process?
Okay, see, first off, you're past the initial stage. Obviously, you guys have a connection, physical connection, and you guys have a mental connection, and you guys have a compatible personality exchange.
Okay.
So now, in order for us to move past the initial part and start dating, we know we good.
Okay, I got you.
Now we know we're good. That's established. We know we good.
Okay.
We know that we kind of have some things in common.
Okay.
So now, hey, you know what? This guy or this chick, they good. So let's move forward and see how this thing goes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because now compatibility is established. I like the conversation. I laugh. I have some fun.
Yeah.
We've done some things that we both agreed on, and it was cool. I'm learning new things. They're learning new things. But then I can get to a point where, and I haven't dated very, very much.
No, I know.
I can't even say that I have dated.
You probably dated more when you was in your 20s than you have as an adult.
Definitely.
Oh, I know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now that you're in this process, you're filling it out. You're saying, man, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean like this is the one.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't going no further than this.
Yeah.
This is all it's gonna be is dating. I don't see myself advancing with you.
But why?
What do you think?
No, but why though? Like when you said you've gone through. Okay, you said we got past the first stage. We like each other. The compatibility is there. Like you said, we've laughed together and we've shared some time together. So for you, moving forward to the next stage. So what is it with you? I mean, what happened in that second round to make you say, "Oh man, I thought this was the one. I thought we was gonna be good. I thought this, but what happened?"
I think I learned that person would probably serve me better in the capacity of a platonic relationship, a friendship,
but
not romance.
But see, that's the problem, because unless you guys have already gone there initially in the second round, if you guys have already shared intimacy, then it can't be platonic. It can be platonic, but it ain't gonna be platonic right off. So if it's gonna be platonic, if you guys are gonna be friends, don't do the physical thing.
Of course, but you don't know that
until
going
after.
in. Yeah, I think in your mindset. I mean, I wasn't initially trying to just sleep with different people and stuff like that. So that wasn't really my mindset going in. Coming off of a marriage and then being single for, like 10 years.
I know.
I think at some point I was cautious, and then at some point I was like not trusting, and then you start to evolve in that little dating process, and then you realize, bro, I'm not really having these feelings for this person to want to commit in a way to where we'll end up more than just dating.
See, it's so funny, man, because I think you're a little trickier than me. I do. Because I've seen, when you got divorced, and then I've seen you entertain not a whole lot of women, maybe that I can think of, maybe 2 or 3. And initially, you was, okay, they cool and whatever. Okay, for example, I don't know her name, and I don't even want to say her name, but I can remember a time. This is funny. I'm not, but this is a true story. This is a true story. I remember a time, and this is so crazy. This is a true story. This is a true story, guys. I was in Chipotle Marina.
Okay.
I was getting something to eat, and this was probably, I want to say, more than 5 years ago.
Okay.
I was getting something to eat, and there was a young lady standing behind me, fair-skinned young lady, kind of attractive or whatever, and she was kind of hitting on me.
Yeah.
She was hitting on me, and I was like, well, nah, I made her laugh, she made me laugh, and I was like, nah, I'm with somebody, so, I said, but you know what? I got a brother.
Yeah,
I got a brother.
I remember that.
And I gave her your number, whatever, and you guys was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys had similar interests.
Yeah.
You guys had a great little friendship. You guys were cool. And it goes back to what you said. What happened?
It was just no desire for romance.
Oh, okay.
I saw her at a level of maybe she came, we crossed each other's paths to help each other where we were at the time. She was heavily into ministry.
Okay.
So was I.
Okay.
Then also as we were preparing our ministry, because we were actually in Big Mama's house having Bible study and stuff.
So was Big Mama living?
Yeah, she was living.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
This was quite a while ago. This was probably, around
7 years ago?
This
is 2021.
No, this was probably like 2013.
Okay, so wow. So I met that lady like more than 6 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Okay. So initially I'm talking to her over the phone.
Okay.
We do have a lot of ministry stuff in common.
Right.
So we got these great conversations
right.
that are happening, and all of a sudden I invite her to Bible study.
Okay.
And she invites a friend with her.
Okay.
And then it kind of rolled from there. And then she was so talented in administration.
Was she good?
Yeah, she was very talented. So she was like, Cameron, I think, you should try this with your ministry. I mean, I think you got a lot of potential to do that. So then it became like, oh, this is how this is going to play out.
Okay.
See, because I never got into the romance part of it because I wasn't feeling her like that. And then I wasn't looking for that. That was more like that was a serious afterthought. But everybody in the group, they liked her. They thought, she was a go-getter.
I thought she was cool.
They thought she was a go-getter. But as far as romance, even after we started talking about it, Mom and everybody was like, no, that's...
Mom said no?
Yeah, they was like, we could tell she likes you, but...
Nah. Don't go there.
Yeah, don't, But I wasn't. But, so that's really... People come into your life and serve a different purpose.
Okay.
Everything is not romance. Okay. Everything is not wifey. Okay. That's not... that wasn't wifey, right?
Okay.
So it was easy for me to say, nah, this is not cool. Okay. Because when I shut the door of opportunity on her, she was cool. Well, I'm not gonna be able to help you guys anymore.
Wow. So she basically wanted more.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So sometimes you just have to. I believe this. You have to keep it platonic. If you go to the intimacy part of
let it be platonic.
You're gonna get in.
No. I had many years ago. I had a best friend, and it went the other way. Yeah. And we end up losing our friendship and everything.
Yeah. It's gonna ruin everything.
Good. Yeah, it's not good. But yeah, and I think that me and you are kind of similar in a lot of ways, especially in terms of dating women. I think we probably have the same attraction for the same type of women. Yeah. We like them the same way physically. Yeah. We like them the same way in terms of intellectually and all that stuff. So I know we have a similar interest. Yeah. But there was another.
But that was a good call that you. I mean, that was a. See, you know my type.
That's what I said. I said, look,
even though she was fair.
Right, because we like them a little brown,
yeah,
a little dark.
So she was a little highly complected for my taste.
But I knew talking to her, I said,
oh, it was perfect.
I said, you can't get with me, boo, but I got somebody for you.
Right.
And I knew that at least you would engage her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew that you would engage. Right. And it's so funny that even happened to where I'm like, you know what? I got somebody for you.
Yeah.
And it
well, you know my type. See, a lot of people, well, I can't say we got a lot of friends that we run with, or, so nobody is ever trying to play matchmaker with me. Right. But if anybody did, it would be you, Mom. Yeah. Somebody really, really, really close to us that knows us.
Okay.
So I think from that standpoint, you're talking about establishing the dating process. We see how you can bump heads there. Now, what is the deal breaker for the girlfriend, boyfriend, monogamy stage?
Oh, how do we get there?
How do you get there? What's the deal breaker for you? What? Okay, now you're dating.
Okay.
Because we went from initial to dating. And now we're at the girlfriend, boyfriend.
Let's make this thing,
let's make it official.
Let's consummate.
I'm gonna be monogamous.
Okay.
You're gonna be mine. I'm gonna be yours. What's the deal breaker for you with that?
Once you reach that pinnacle and you guys are you've passed the first round, second round, now you're in the third round.
You're in the third round.
And you guys are let's say you guys are either you're not living together, but either he's coming over to your house a couple days a week and vice versa.
Okay.
So now you guys are really close. Okay. You guys are really feeling each other.
Okay.
From that point on, now you say to yourself, okay, are we gonna get married? Are we gonna live together? I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Then it becomes a thing of because there's stages of closeness.
Yeah.
There's
feelings progress.
There's stages of your emotions in terms of how much you like and care about somebody.
Yeah.
So now if you've reached that stage where, you guys are in the third round and you guys are in this serious relationship, then what becomes the deal breaker? Is it something that like, oh man, she's getting on my nerves because, she's aggravating me, or she's over here too much, or I'm over there too much, or it could be something like, she ain't covering her mouth when she sneezes. I mean, it could be little things.
You're finding these things out.
I'm saying, look, you look now like, ooh, she got chipped toenail polish, and ooh, and she didn't do her manicure, and like, ooh, babe, you gonna get your hair done this week? It starts becoming things like that. You start to notice little things.
It's discovery.
It's discovery. Then it's like you guys are laying in bed watching Netflix. Like, did you poop?
Right.
You poop it? You know what I'm saying? And it stinks. What the? So it starts to be in little things because those are the things that's gonna tell you if I can live with this man or woman or not. If I can deal with all those little idiosyncrasies,
no, I got you.
Can I live with this man? Can I live with this woman? Yeah. Is she tidy? Is she not tidy? Is she
domestic?
Right. Is she domesticated? Does she come over and say, "Hey, babe, don't worry about it. I'm gonna cook for you. What we gonna have? Let me put your feet up. I'm gonna run you a bath. Can you? You know what I'm saying? It's that little stage right there, because that's the stage that's gonna go into the next stage.
So now you're saying that you've decided to. Okay, you're in the dating process, but the deal breaker is whether or not you're going to go into the monogamous stage of saying it's me and you, baby, we one-on-one, or are you already in that stage?
You in that stage.
Okay,
I'm in that stage.
Great for clarifying.
Okay, I'm in that stage.
Okay,
we're in the third round.
Okay, we're in the third round. So now, does my feelings progress enough to love her through what I'm experiencing that turns me off?
Right.
Or does her not wanting to be teachable or coachable turn me off? Because if that's the case, none of this is going to change.
Right, but
that's a deal breaker.
But you're right. But what I'm telling you is, every man and every woman is different.
Yeah, I'm speaking for you.
Okay, so, But for me, it's a deal breaker.
Okay, so basically, regardless of where your feelings are about this person, when you've seen enough, you go.
Well,
you've seen enough.
Listen. Especially,
that's a bar.
Especially when
that's a bar.
It's a bar. Especially when you've gone through it already. Like you've gone through it.
Yeah.
I've gone through it. You know what you're gonna tolerate in the next part of your life versus what you tolerated in the last part.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why would you
enough is enough?
Why would you go back into the same thing that you was back in your 30s or your 20s or your 40s? You know, so you know what you're gonna tolerate. And I think that's the problem with relationships with men and women. They see the red flags in the beginning, and they try to ignore the red flag.
Yeah.
Dude, the red flag is a red flag. It ain't gonna turn green.
Exactly.
It's red.
It's red for a reason.
It's red for a reason.
You got green, you got red, yellow, and green.
Yeah, and so now, do you tell yourself, you know what? But I'm gonna say this though. Everybody's not gonna be perfect. We all have our shortcomings.
Of course.
We all have our shortcomings.
Of course.
But you have to understand something, that it could be a man or a woman could have maybe 2 or 3 little flaws. And you may be like, oh, you know what? That's doable. Maybe this one, like, But you have, to me, you have to have more good than bad.
Okay.
Like, it has to be more of you that I can say, oh, no, man. I mean, she's solid in this way. Okay. And she only has a little 1 or 2 issues. I can deal with that.
Okay.
But her positive, overall positive initial
has to outweigh the other.
It has to outweigh the other.
No, I agree.
The good has to outweigh the bad, because, like I said, we all have our shortcomings. Yeah. None of us are perfect.
Okay.
And we all have something about us that our other significant other may be like, oh man, he getting on my nerves, or she getting on my nerves. Yeah. But he's a great this, and he's a great that, or she's a great this, and she's a great that. Perfect example. I'm gonna give an example, and you can probably give an example. Let's just say, hypothetically, that I have a girlfriend who we're gonna go to the next level, and let's just say that, you know, I've stayed at her house a few times, and let's just say she's not the tidiest.
Oh.
Let's just say she's not the tidiest.
Okay.
But let's just say she may not be the tidiest, but she may be the one that comes home and say, hey, I ran you a bath. Come after you get out of the bathtub, come over, lay right here. I'm gonna massage your feet. Okay. I got dinner fixed for you. You know, da. Yeah. She may have all those other great qualities. So now the man can say, I can probably deal with the not so tidiness
because I can help.
Right, but because she has all the other things.
Right.
So it's
that's
those,
a great compromise.
Yeah. So it's those little things that hey, listen, man. If you can work with somebody, work with them. Yeah. But if you can't work with them, you got to say, you know what? I got to throw my hands up. I can't work with you. Yeah. Because some people got too many things that, you know, you may be like, oh, I can't handle it. But because I can't handle those too many things, the next guy might be able to, like, I love it.
Yeah, that's true.
One man's treasure is another man's, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And not metaphorically speaking, calling women trash, because I love and respect women. Yeah. But one man may see a flaw in this woman, but the other man may be like, well, that flaw, I can handle that flaw. Yeah. So it always comes back down to a compromise and a personal thing, like, can I deal with this or can I not deal with it?
I agree. I think, me personally, of course, my feelings play a huge part, because my feelings, my love, and my respect, and my compassion for a person will give a lot of leverage and leadway, right? But I've also come to know in my brief experience is you can't find yourself complacent, allowing certain things to go on that you know bother you.
Yeah.
And then you can't have a conversation about that. Therefore, nothing gets done.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I want to say to the audience, don't let your feelings and emotions dictate to you what you should deal with just so you can stay in that thing. You know, have a conversation and address it, because if you don't, it's not going to get better on its own, right? No. And how that person begins to respond to that initial conversation, lets you know what you're dealing with. Some people may never really argue with you about it and never change.
Well,
and just feel like, you know what, this is me. And then eventually it's going to come out like, take it or leave it.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, man. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That's the thing right there. We have to understand that we're all adults. Like, not 25 years old. We're grown adults. And you have to understand that everybody is we're who we are. Like, I'm not going to change. You're not going to change. I mean, we can make adjustments for certain things. And I think we had this conversation
we talked
12 sessions ago or whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody's really going to change who they are.
Yeah.
It's the little things that you can tweak. But if there's a lot of big things, let that person be. Because they're not going to change. Only thing that's going to do is going to mess up the relationship more, trying to make a person conform to what you want them to be. I've just learned to let people be who they are.
Yeah. And I think that's important. That's core, right? This is the core. This is your core self, right? But I think you got to become a teammate, meaning you got to learn how to compromise. Nobody is saying change for me, but I am saying respect me. If I prefer that the laundry is not overflowing because it's been there 2 and 3 weeks, or the dishes are in the sink for days at a time, but you're coming in and out of the kitchen using other clean utensils and all this, and you're in and out of the kitchen, but you're not even going to wash the dishes that's in the sink? I got a problem, because that's not really a core characteristic. I think that's just no respect, man. I'm sorry. I don't look at it as, well, you know, some people don't like to clean, or some people don't like to. No, some people are disrespectful.
That's funny.
You eating in the same kitchen that I'm eating in, but I'm cleaning everything that I'm using, that the kids are using, or even you using. You can't do it once.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
It's no respect.
But I'm gonna tell you something, and it's. I don't think it's about respect, but I think I'm gonna tell you something. When people get in marriages, and when people move in with each other, and people are in girlfriend, boyfriend relationship, but they live together, people don't understand that the way you lived when you were single, you can't live this way when you living with somebody. Because you have to respect the other person. You may not like you may be used to coming home, taking off your clothes, throwing them all over the floor, and getting in the bed. But now, no, really. But now that you have a mate, you can't do that. You gotta say, oh man, damn, let me make sure I grab my clothes, throw them in the hamper, whatever. Or you may have been a single man or single woman and let the dishes stay in the sink for 3 days. Right. And you think you get to them when you want to get to them. But you live in single. So that if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But when you when you get into a relationship, you have to be mindful and say, oh, I'm not living alone anymore, so I can't do this. People don't do that. And that's the problem.
And that's disrespect, right?
But I wouldn't call it disrespect.
If y'all living together,
I wouldn't.
That's not respecting your space and comfort zone.
But you know what? You have to understand something. Until that person realizes that, it's not disrespect to them.
No, but it's disrespect to you.
But and I'm going back to what I'm saying. If they don't understand that, if they haven't come to the conclusion, like, wait a minute, let me look at his or her perspective about this. If they haven't looked at the perspective about it, they're gonna continue to do it. Okay. They haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, but we've had that conversation.
No, right. And right.
If we have,
no, you're right. Because basically what I'm saying is it's not malicious is what I was trying to get to. It's not like.
So you said they're not doing it on purpose?
No, they're just doing.
So we had this conversation.
You're right,
bro. we too grown,
you're right,
and we've lived together too long for you
I didn't look at it like that.
to not say,
We've had this conversation multiple times.
My wife does not like me leaving my work boots and my pants and my underwear in the bath. She don't want to see a trail from the bathroom to the bedroom.
Or she don't want, dude, when you take a pee, put the toilet seat back down. Don't let me come in the bathroom late at night and sit on the thing.
Yeah, I gotta tell you that every day. And then you live with your mom, or you live with your sisters and your mom, and I know you were taught not to do that.
Well,
so what I'm saying is, if you guys never had that conversation, I get that.
Oh, I wasn't looking at it like that.
But if you had this conversation, after that, it's disrespect.
Well, it could be a lot of things. It could be disrespect, or it could be a bully tactic type thing, like I'm gonna do what I want to do. Or I don't really want to use the word disrespect because it's a real harsh word.
That's what it is, bro. It's simplistic.
You think it's disrespect
if you're not doing anything about it, and it's been brought to your attention. That's like one of us being on our job.
Okay.
And our supervisor says, Charles, drink your coffee in the break room.
Right. Okay.
Don't bring your coffee into the work area
or my office.
Or period.
Okay.
Don't bring it into the work area.
Okay.
They catch you with it a couple of times. I'm gonna give him a pass.
Okay.
Maybe he forgot.
Okay.
He's been doing it all year.
Okay.
He forgot. I'm gonna give him a break.
Okay.
And then another time you come in. Now my supervisor is in my office.
Okay.
And we see you go into your place of work or space
with your coffee.
Dude looking at me like, is that how we getting down? Because that ain't the policy.
Right.
So now I'm hot because I've had this conversation with you.
More than once.
So whether you forgot or not, I feel disrespected because you undermined my authority.
Wow.
I'm your supervisor. Yeah. And I'm not saying that a husband is a wife's supervisor or a wife is a husband's I'm trying to establish the level of respect.
Between both people.
Because there's some things
both people.
Exactly. Because there's some things that you are cool on.
Yes.
And you're going to bring that to my attention.
Yes.
When you're cool on it.
Right.
So you superior now?
No, you're right. No,
so
I guess I never really dove into it that deep to really. I think
it's a level of respect, man.
Yeah. I think the thing about it is, when you've been in that type of relationship and you've dealt with it for so long, I think
you used to it.
It kind of makes you numb. But when you really delve into it like how you have just now, it makes you be like, wow, it's a trip. Because especially when you said there's some things about you that she just ain't having, but it's so.
So in other words, you're expecting something from me that you're not willing to give. Yeah. That's not a team player. Now that's a bully.
Oh, I know.
That's a bully tactic. I can do it, but you can't do it. Like your parents would always say, don't do as I do, do as I say. Right. Okay, we get that. You're a child. There's nothing you can do about that. So now that we've established how it's a deal breaker moving from initial meeting to dating, and then from dating to a monogamous situation, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, how do we evaluate the marriage level? How do we get, how do we get, what's the deal breaker for marriage?
I'm going to tell you something. That's
because, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
Women, you guys are notorious for wanting a man to pop the question. And some of you guys have either been waiting for him just to pop the question, or you've been engaged for the last 15 years. And so you like, how do we do this? So what's the deal breaker when you were single? What was the deal breaker as related to how you decided on choosing your wife?
Well, if we being honest here, I never wanted to be married.
Okay.
That's just to be honest. I don't feel like I'm the marriage type of guy.
Okay.
But when I did,
okay,
I kind of just got comfortable and rolled into
Adjusted.
it. Right. But for me, that's a difficult question because you have to understand that there's men who've been married and there's women who've been married and now they're not.
Okay.
So their evaluation of what a deal breaker is maybe a little different than yours.
Because they got the experience.
They got the experience. But for me, in terms of moving from that next level to marriage, you know, man, there's a lot. I mean, and like I said, it all depends on if you've ever been married before and if you're single. But let's just say you've been married before, and you're going to go down that road again.
Okay.
If you haven't learned all the idiosyncrasies and all the backlash from the first marriage that comes along with that, then you're going to repeat it in the second.
But you say everybody's different.
Well, you're right, everybody is different. So let's not talk about everybody. Let's talk about for me.
Okay.
In order to go to that next level in terms of marriage, man, I'm going to tell you, first and foremost is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a woman who is loyal in terms of let me be a man and let me respect you as a woman, and don't try to stand up to me like you a man. Let me be the man.
Yeah.
And one thing about me, I'm not going to try to control you.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow you to do whatever you want to do, whatever. But if I say something as a man, let me
respect that.
Respect
Just
it.
respect
And let me
that.
run my house.
Yeah.
And let me understand and make me understand that you respect me as a man. That's all. I think that's all men ask for.
All men want. That's all we want is respect.
Respect me as a man. Allow me to be that man. I don't need it goes back to what I'm saying about these women about, you know, I'm strong and I gotta have a voice. So that's all fine and dandy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, having a voice and being strong ain't gonna have you, you know, linked up and having some dude ready to just take you down the aisle.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna look at that as something else.
Yeah.
Oh man, she's combative. She want to fight all the time. She want to argue. Nobody want to deal with that, man.
You know, I agree with you. I think also preparation is required of us all. We should be prepared for stages of relationships, especially marriage. Should we have all the knowledge about it? No one does, right? It takes time to be successful in any relationship. But I think with marriage, for some reason, people do not understand the logistics or fundamental process of creating a successful marriage.
Right.
I think also the level of respect has to derive from being whole as an individual. You have to first be whole.
Right.
And then number two, really embracing your role.
Right.
I'm the man. I can't be a woman.
Right.
I don't want to be a woman.
And vice versa.
Right. And I think that's where this thing gets really mixed up, is because someone is trying to usurp authority or trying to be the authority instead of understanding that, like you forementioned in weeks past, you were like, if somebody break into the pad, you expect me to go down there and subdue them.
Exactly.
And me personally, I'm not looking for you to go get reinforcement, get that thing out the drawer, and
get that thing
and beat me down there to, you know, rectify the situation.
Yeah.
So if I am expected to be a man in that sense,
let me be the man all
let
around.
me run my house.
But and it goes back to what we was talking about before, and maybe we touched on it. Mm-hmm. You know, the education part of it with these young women's mothers and fathers who raised them and who probably didn't raise them or whatever. Yeah. They just somewhere it got lost in terms of, okay, because it was different when our grandparents and our great grandparents, man, the woman respected the man.
Totally.
They respected the man.
Whether he messed up or he got it right.
They respected the man.
Yes.
And now we've gotten into the 21st century where these women are so quick to be like, I don't need a man, whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to be alone. Right. Nobody wants to be 70 years old with nobody or 50 years old with nobody.
Yeah. Unless you're a special individual.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, man, everybody wants that kind of comfort where even if you're not in a marriage with someone,
or companionship,
you want that thing to say. You want to be able to say, this girl is fond of me, or that guy is fond of me,
right?
And we enjoy each other's company.
To talk to.
Yeah,
I got someone to lean on, to vent. I got some support.
Yeah, I just think, man, I think I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I really gonna be honest with you. I think it's gonna be tough for black women to really. I think the women that's in our age group, and let's say women from 45 to 60.
Look like we gotta bring B back, bro.
I think
we
might have to bring her back.
We're gonna have to bring her back.
We're gonna have to bring her back.
So she can piggyback.
I think it's gonna
on
be.
this.
I think it's gonna be tough for a lot of them, and that's why there's a lot of them who are single, and there's a handful of them that's married. And when I say this, audience, I'm talking about the men and the female, and the men and the women. But I just think, man, until women really starts to learn their role as women, I think it's gonna be tough for them.
Now that you've put that, in perspective and put it on the table, why do you think that in a marriage, or let's just say after the relationship and you have children together, why is it that parents use the children against one another? How do you determine true love and sincerity for a child if you're willing to turn that child against its biological parent?
Next time.
Now, whether or not, because
that's gonna be I can't even answer that one in the couple minutes that we have,
right?
Because we only have a couple minutes, but that one we're gonna have to write that one down. And me and you talked about it, and I guess now you're ready to talk about it,
right?
And we're gonna have to talk about it,
right?
Because I've been on that end, and now you're the guy on that end,
right?
So we're gonna have to talk about that, and that's gonna be a long topic. And that may be.
And this has happened down through the centuries.
No, that might be a two-parter. That's what I'm saying.
It's not like just this.
That might be part one, part two.
Yeah, it gotta be.
Yeah.
So we see that we went from, because we're talking about deal breakers,
right?
And we're summing it up. This is the summation of it. There's an initial meeting, then there is a dating process, and then there is a commitment,
right?
Aspect.
Yep.
And then there is a marriage union that should come out of this whole tree.
Right. Or not even a marriage union. I mean, because some people they don't want to be married, but they'll live together, and that's fine for them. I mean, I'm no judge. That's between them and whoever judge is going to judge them. That's between them and God. That I'm not the judge.
I got you.
And if that's what makes them comfortable, more power to it. I mean, Kurt Russell's been with Goldie Hawn. They've been on like 40 years.
Yeah, they've been together.
And they're not even married. So, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Well, man, again, another powerful topic that you introduced. I hope we've done some justice to it, because it's really impacted. I mean, you can unpack this thing for a few segments,
right?
But I think initially, somebody needs to see from that skeleton base of how we get to this option of marriage. I'll use it like that, because like you said, some people don't even want to be married.
It's optional.
So it's an optional thing, but there is a progression of it.
From one stage to the next.
Yeah, you see women, they always claim that they're not visual. But they're just not as visual as we are, but they're visual.
Oh, they're just as visual as we are, but they're just like us, man. They're just like us. Seriously, they're just like us. They're just not going to outwardly say they're just like us.
And then society always has.
They're just like us. Because I've dated some not too attractive women, but they had fantastic personalities.
Okay.
And I've dated some drop dead gorgeous women with some crappy personalities.
Yeah, I agree.
So it happens on both ends.
I agree. Well, thanks again, viewing audience, and always a great opportunity to come to you and share on this platform. You know that we're on YouTube, Facebook, some other social media platforms. Thanks to the Coalesce Group for your support and sponsorship, and we look forward to coming to you once again I'm going to give it back to Charlie Mack to close us out.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It's always appreciated. If you guys like the content, make sure you share it, like it, send it to someone else, send it to your grandma, send it to your granddad down there in Mississippi.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do what we do, and all this stuff we're talking about is coming from a real place, and it's from some real brothers from Inglewood, and that's all I got to say. Peace and love.
Peace.